into place. I'm going to try to show you a little more close-up shot of the little bushing I put in. As you can see, the little bushing here, see how the hole is dead center. The other bushings have the hole off center, so that's going to cock the gear a little bit. If you put the offset bushing in there, it would cock the gear a little bit this way or a little bit that way. But we always want to start with the 0 advanced bushing, which is the bushing with the hole drilled dead center. And that's what that looks like. So next we're going to put our 3 cam bolts in. And this particular kit comes with a little bolt keeper, which after we're all done and we tighten everything up, we're going to go ahead and bend those out right over the bolts, so that way nothing will ever come loose on this thing. But for now we're just going to tighten them by hand to install the camshaft. That should do it for that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and lube this cam up. It's just some regular black moly lube. Start out and just put a little dab on each one, and we're going to smooth it out and put it around everywhere we go. It doesn't need to be a really thick gooping on there. We just need to make everything so it has a little bit of lube for that first startup. Because you never want to start up a new cam dry, especially. Now my machine shop also recommended I use a cam break-in fluid, which is something that you might add to your motor oil. And I think it has some of this moly lube or graphite or something in it that helps treat the hardness of the cam during that first startup period. So it's a good thing to use. And go ahead and spread this stuff all around the globes. Alright, that should do it. Make sure you get all around where these bearings are. Okay. The next thing we're going to do now here is we're going to go ahead and install this camshaft into the block by just gently starting the first cam bearing and make sure everything fits in, and try to stabilize it so you don't bang it around too bad in there. It's one thing about building an engine, you don't really want to bang around the parts or try to force anything to fit. So far so good. Just slide it in, journal by journal. That's a good thing about putting the gear on ahead of time, because it gives you a little leverage and a little way to manage the angle of putting this thing in. It gets kind of tricky once you get it part way in there to get it in the next bearing. Looking good so far. And that's that. So anyway, okay, there we go. You got the cam in, got our cam gear on here. I'm going to just kind of halfway fake it here. Our timing mark pointing down is right there, so we're just going to leave that like that. So that's our starting point. Well, next we're going to go ahead and install our bottom crankshaft gear. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit of motor oil on this crankshaft snout. Try to make it slide on there a little easier. Now the crankshaft gear goes on. There is a little bevel edge which is built to snug up to the inside of the crankshaft. The beveled edge is going to go in towards the block. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started on here. It should go on fairly easily. We're just going to tap it on.